So first of all, I just wanted to say hello and obviously welcome to everyone. We are recording this webinar, so obviously if anyone's not happy with that or any issues around it, then please drop a message in the chat or shout. I think in terms of housekeeping, if, as I think everyone is, if you keep your cameras and muted at the moment, and then obviously it should hopefully mean that Alex, Camilla and Mike stay on the screens, so that they're pinned there. I'm going to give you a quick introduction to the three guests that we've got today for this roundtable. So Alex is joining us from RPC, which is the partner to the University Lacrosse Officer Programme that we run at England Lacrosse. So obviously some of you on this call are on that programme, and I know there's others of you that have joined who may have interest in it. So Alex is a partner at RPC, specialising in construction claims, and also sits as a part-time judge. She's got a background in lacrosse for about 24 years from school through university, club, and also represented her county, territory and country. So unfortunately, children may have got in the way of her playing goal, and now kind of has to fulfill herself with running without a lacrosse stick in her hands for the time being. So hopefully Alex is going to be able to bring some of that experience in the chat this afternoon. Alex, I don't know if you just wanted to say hello to everyone.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good to not be able to see you, but good to know you're there.
Thanks, Alex. Next, I just wanted to introduce Camilla to you. Camilla went to university in America, so has got a slightly different background to be able to bring to the table. She's a current member of the England women's squad, and Camilla works within operations and is currently a headhunter in insurance. Camilla, I don't know if you want to say hello as well. Oh, you're on mute, but
that's so 2020. Nice to hear everyone, and yeah, hopefully this will be a good meeting.
Thanks, Camilla. And then not least, oh, I don't know if everyone else can hear me. I don't know if that's any better, but I could hear myself twice, so apologies for that. Yeah, last but not least, Mike. So Mike's been involved in lacrosse from quite a young age, from primary school all the way through to the world stage, both as a player and also now as a coach with the England international team. Domestically, he's been involved in running teams, programmes, and is currently head of lacrosse at the University of Nottingham, as well as being a partner with UW. This is after he's had a long tenure, I say long, a 10-year career within business development. So Mike, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, Kasey. Yeah, looking forward to sharing some insights.
Amazing. So I will keep an eye hopefully on the chat, and there's a couple of other England Lacrosse staff members on this call. So if you've got any questions that you want to ask along the way, please do pop them in the chat, and if not, we will open up to the floor at the end. So Alex, I wanted to come to you kind of first, and talk around kind of the themes that we discussed and put out for this webinar around building a network. And I know obviously it can be hard anyway, and especially hard at the moment. Lots of students are kind of thinking about the future, and I wanted to know what your kind of best tips for building a network were, and how you think that's kind of changed in the last 5 years to where we are in 2020 today, or 2021.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. How do you network when you're all locked down? And it has inevitably, because of what's happened over the last year, it's become a lot more online. And it is always really careful to bear in mind what your digital footprint looks like and where you can make connections with people. The traditional business one is LinkedIn, and looking through there is always a good idea, and making sure you've got a good professional profile there. Never be afraid to reach out to people. The worst that can happen is they decline or ignore your invitation. But if you're looking at a particular area, if you're interested in a particular type of work, or maybe in sport, if you see there's anything there that you think you'd like to connect with, then don't be afraid to reach out to people and say, hi, I'd like to get in contact. Because I think particularly at the moment, people are very happy to receive contact from other people rather than just being locked in their own little worlds. But I don't think that's ever going to really change the nature of, we are social beings, and we will want to network face to face, and that is always the best way to do it. And for me, the beauty of playing lacrosse was it gave me an instant network wherever I went. When I got to university, I joined up to the lacrosse team. I had friends across all 4 years of university, rather than just being the kind of the freshers that you met in your course. Gave me much more opportunity. I met people from other universities. The university I was at was pretty rubbish at lacrosse, so I used to go with the other person who was quite good. We'd go around the country just playing with other people. Being a goalkeeper, I usually had a team. Wherever I was, they'd be happy to have someone to play with them. So it gave me a great opportunity to meet people from different universities as well. And certainly when I moved to London, it can be scary if you leave university, you move to a new city, whether that's London or wherever. And it gives you an immediate opportunity to form a network. If you can find a local club, whether it's lacrosse or any other sport you've been doing, it gives you an opportunity to make that network straight away. And don't be afraid to use that network. Once people are your friends, if you think they can help you in some way, I'm sure if you said to them, can you help? They wouldn't say no. So use your network, build your network before you need it. That was a very good piece of advice I was given by someone who was Uber mega star in lots of boards and that kind of thing. And she said, always think about building your network before you need it, because you never know who may come in useful in the future. And it is so much about who you know as well as what you know. So network as much as you can, and sport gives you the perfect opportunity to do that.
I completely agree, Alex, and I think people forget as well, especially with things like LinkedIn. Obviously, people can see when you viewed your profile. So actually, you've kind of done that half step, you know, just not pressed connect or kind of the reason behind it. I guess this is a kind of forward-thinking question of looking into the next 5 to 10 years. What do you think will change, or what can you predict happening within networking going forward?
Well, it's very hard to tell. I mean, 10 years ago, no one thought we'd have a thing called LinkedIn, and now everyone has it. And there will no doubt be all sorts of different ways that we will find to communicate with each other digitally. That is kind of inevitable. But I don't think, as I say, I don't think there'll ever be a move away from the face-to-face networking, the opportunity to meet people and really relate to them. And whilst these Zoom opportunities are great, it's not the same as having that kind of live discourse with people, that opportunity to really get to know them. So I'm sure that that live networking will still be alive and well in 5 to 10 years' time. It will just be supplemented by who knows what new platform or new system there is out there.
I think it's that, isn't it? Staying with the times and trying to be ahead of them without knowing what's coming. But leading on from that kind of the challenges and wanting to be social, Camilla, I'm just going to come to you. And obviously, being an athlete and kind of working at the moment, I guess what have you found as the most difficult and the biggest challenges at the moment, and also, how have you found that your skills that you've got from playing sport have really helped you with your career and your employer's value?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I just wanted to add on to what Alex said around LinkedIn and networking. And I think utilizing the sport and lacrosse and everyone you know, and LinkedIn is a huge tool. Particularly from working in the headhunting industry, you know, it is a tool that is used. It's not the only tool that's used, but it is quite a big tool that is used. And I think if you can build your profile, as Alex said, it is really handy. And then also, you know, just making contact, as you say, you can see when someone's looked at your profile. So if you connect as well, it just adds that extra level of personality, which you know, we're in this sort of data, you know, digital age at the moment where we're all stuck at home. So yes, I think, you know, the LinkedIn side of things is really interesting in terms of. So I just wanted to add that was certainly an interesting point from Alex. I think in terms of the challenge as an athlete and working at the moment, I think there's a general challenge in terms of the fact that we can't go to the gym, which I know obviously is not necessarily related to working as such, but it's a big part for people that are athletes, and I suspect there's probably links onto the mental health that we come on to later on in the webinar. But I think in the skills and elements that employers are looking for, I think for me personally, you know, going to university in the States and sport just gives you that ability to work strong as part of a team, and that's something that you know, most employers really thrive upon, and really, you know, they want somebody to have that ability to work as part of a team. It's brilliant that you have those skills and your own skills and expertise, but if you can't work together as a team, it certainly lets you down later on down the line. So that element of the teamwork and working part of a team is crucial, really, and I think you really get that through sport, and particularly within lacrosse being a team sport. So I think that's really good to build on that and sort of highlight that when you're moving through your sort of business career. And I think also the organization, you know, trying to juggle sports, athletics, the gym, training and work gives you a huge ability to organize your time. You have to be organized. And I think also, you know, I think employers recognize that there's lots of things that people are doing. There's that, like, you know, there's life work balance, etc. But being able to demonstrate how organized and the ability for you to organize your time is another element that I think, you know, employers really do value, because, you know, it's how you manage your time and how you can move forward. So I think those are the two main things that I sort of pull across from sport into my working life.
No, and I think having talked with kind of female athletes before as well, something that people sometimes are scared to share with employees is the level they play at and the level they compete at, because they feel like it's going to detract from, say, the job offer, or you know, people won't feel that you can manage all those things. But I think we come onto it a little bit later in the conversation as well, but I think it actually, employers really relish it, and can see it as a benefit. And actually, I'm sure your company's probably very proud of your achievements as well, Camilla, and actually possibly use you as well as the face of different elements of the company.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, you know, and actually talking about sport, talking about things you do outside of work, you know, in this day and age, and particularly within the sort of work environment, and particularly at the graduate level, you need to stand out when you know, making applications and moving into that business life. And actually having sport, or at any level, shows that you have, you know, hobbies and things you can do outside of work. And I think those are really key as well, and as you say, highlighting those, because it kind of makes you more human as well. I mean, as you say, for me, I'm quite upfront about my lacrosse and my lacrosse commitments that I have. You know, we go on tour 2 or 3 times a year and everything, so have to be quite upfront at that at the beginning. But that's, you know, being an athlete makes me part of who I am in my business life, so bringing that through from sport into business is really important. And, you know, as lacrosse is not I don't get paid to play, unfortunately, you know, I have to pay the bills somehow, so I do have to you know, I do have to work. So that's some of the elements that I bring across, which I think is really crucial. You know, being an athlete and really voicing that is important.
No, and I agree. I'm going to move to